When creating videos, my favorite features are track mats, keyframes, PNG files, and anchor points. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use some anchor points, keyframes, and the PNG files. So let's get started. This is an old paint program I love called Paint Shop Pro 7. I think it came out in the early 90s, but I still love it. And I'm going to use it to create an object for us to play with in keyframes and anchor points. So I'll go to File, New. Let's go 1920 1080. That's fine. And then I'm going to use an object that comes with this program. This little arrow will be just fine. Take it over here, click on the left mouse and drag it out. Now I want the arrow pointing down, so I'm going to rotate it. There. Now I want to select it, so I'll use the magic wand tool here, and of course it's selecting all the blank areas, so I'll go to selection, invert, and then I'll do copy and then paste as a new image. Now the reason I'm saving it as a new image is so I'll know exactly where the center, the anchor point is when we get into Premiere Elements. So let me get rid of this one. No, and this one we want to save. Be sure to save as a PNG file. That way it will retain the transparency, and we'll just call it arrow. Okay. All right, now we're ready to go into Premiere Elements. Here we are in Premiere Elements. Now over here where it says Project Assets, you can see I've already added the little arrow. Now I'm going to add some more from Files and Folders, and in here, see, I've made a background and two circles. I'm going to load those into our project assets. Now I'm going to place the background image on video 1, and let's stretch it out a little bit. Now above that, I'm going to place this circle. Put that right there. You can see, you can hardly see it right now, but you'll see it better in a minute. Now I'm going to bring the second circle down to video 3. Now I want to resize this so it will fit inside the other circle. So let me go to Effects, Motion, Scale, and I'm going to set the scale for 64. There, now that should fit inside the circle. Now we'll add the arrow and stretch that out. I also want to resize the arrow, and I'm going to resize it to, let me see here, Motion, Resize. I'm going to resize it to 17. There, that works pretty well. Now what we want to do is we want to move the point of the arrow down to here. So this is where we get into anchor points. Now we want to create a keyframe. So you see this little clock up here that has a little tiny arrow there. Click on that clock, and now click on this clock. Now that sets keyframes for everything here. We're mainly concerned about the anchor point. So here in the anchor points, this number here moves something up, the anchor point up or down. This moves it right and left. If we move this direction, it's going to move it down. So let me see here. I think I'll just type in minus 223. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Now, if you will notice here, the arrow is down. The anchor point is still in the same place. So now what we want to do is we want to go to the end of that and set the rotation to 360. Now we'll go back to the beginning and see what happened. That's exactly the effect that I wanted. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other items here. Let's go to the main circle, motion, and again, this is already open, so we can just click on this little clock. That sets a keyframe for this dark circle. And we'll go to the end and set another rotation keyframe. Let's set it for 360. And now you'll notice it says 1 times 0. Let's change that 1 to 3. That will mean 3 times 360. Now we'll go back to the beginning and watch. Now let's do the same. Go back to the beginning by clicking here and highlight circle 2. Go to motion, click the little watch again, sets the keyframes. We'll go to the end. And now we're going to set the rotation for minus 360. I want to change that 1 there to, let's be wild, let's say 5. Okay, now we'll go back to the start again, and let's see what we have. And that's exactly what I wanted. And that is an example of using anchor points, rotation in keyframes, and as you see, my objects there are all PNG files. I hope you found this video helpful and that you'll start playing with some of the features I've shown you today. Thanks.